Brian, you probably would have not been involved in too many Mauls in your day. It was a new concept for me when I got to varsity and we pitched up at the first race practice, and all of a sudden got told I had to be in the pack. And next thing you know, I was lifting lineouts and joining Mauls. Not really my thing.
Yeah.
But today we've got an interesting question, and Brian, particularly relevant to yourself. The modern player's journey should include a stint elsewhere. Now, you took it to the extreme because you went to a different code.
Yes.
As well as a different country, as well as a different continent, a different time zone.
Fair enough.
But yeah, in terms of, we've seen lots of players and people becoming more global. You look at a Cheslin, and he's been in France, Japan. Some of these guys have been in like 4 different leagues. How important do you think it is for players to see different environments, even if it's within South Africa itself, but to have a stint somewhere else and get exposed to a different environment?
So I think like the Japan route that a lot of the players have gone now has probably been like the most benefit, like for South Africa ourselves. Like we've benefited from, I think even from Free's days and right up until like how good JC's going at the moment. Like that's not just by chance and him coming of age, and like it's the break from like having, I wouldn't boil it down to just saying like the Bulls have one approach to playing, but I think as a backline coach, like he's learning from Leon McDonald over there at the moment. So it's like it's really great, and it's great competition, and you got such good comp happening at the moment. Like up until I think they're like third league, I think they have that's still got like these like unbelievable players who have like, you know.
My Leebox working with Quay Cooper in the second division.
Do you know what I mean?
Of Japanese rugby.
Yeah. So, yeah, a mate of mine, he's actually a Brendan Owen. He was at Cannon with JC and Fuff, and he's just moved, I'm not to the Rams now. But he was saying to me, like, he's like, their third division is the guys play 4 games in like, I don't know, like space of 6 months, whatever. And in between, they get like a 10-day break, whatever. And he's like, but they still earn bombs, you know? So he's like, this is probably...
Going, maybe I can get
contract. Yeah, we'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my eyes lit up like this. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, but it's like the perfect world. Because,
back in the gym next day.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, he's like, but you got such good competition happening out there. So I think it's good. I think the guys need to get over there. And I think like even with Zim Rugby and them coming back onto the map is all pretty much because, you know, they got Pryor and the boys playing in Oz, some guys in the UK. I think you need that exposure, and you need to you need to grow a bit, and it's tough to grow when you're still, I don't know, 24 and you're living with your parents. Like you need to find out like, oh no, can I cook a steak? Can I make like, you know what I mean? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Can I keep my house clean? And
we had to do that without earning bombs. So
yeah, you know what it's like. And yeah, and then it's also like on the dark days, like when I've got no one to talk to, can I stay in a good space and like, you know, like carry on with life and like keep on in the fight? And I think that's what being away gives you. You don't get that in a lot of other stuff, like work-wise. I don't think you get that, but in terms of playing, like you still have to show up, and you'll know, like if a guy's coming at you off a ruck and he's, you know, coming a million miles an hour, he doesn't care that your girlfriend broke up with you last week or that you failed an exam. Like he's gonna run straight over you, you know, and that's kind of where you build yourself and you learn about yourself.
No, that's
I don't know if you share the same.
Quite a big difference when you went over there.
No, completely. You know, and it was a different culture, and you know, as in time zone and everything, and that was actually such a big part of it was growing up.
Yeah.
You know, big time, coming out of mom and dad's house, and then, you know, it sounds so silly, but doing your washing. We're so privileged here. Well, many of us are privileged here in South Africa to have access to support. But going over there and seeing that it wasn't the case, you know, was quite, really, really caused you to grow up. So when you came back, there were lessons you could teach others, or at least be that role model and call people out. Brian, I want to just ask, and you'll cast your mind back, when you came back into the South African fold and into the union code, was there anything that you found specifically that your time in Oz made you better at the South Africans that had not travelled? That made sense. Did you feel like, okay, my vision of space, or knowing where to be, or my passing, just anything that you found actually being in Oz, playing a different code, helped me with this thing specifically.
Sure,
Putting
you'll
you
say
on the spot
yeah. Thanks for that. You'll say the passing, but yeah, I actually have a funny story. When I was playing under 19 at the Lions, and it had been like, so I'd been like on and off in Oz because of my visa issue, and then they were like, come through for the under 19 Currie Cup, and I think we were playing Province. And I'll never forget this for as long as I live, but that's just because I just remember Faf just in my ear and just having a go at me. But I was playing centre at the time, and you know how low the seats are at Ellis Park? Like, it's like
I had season tickets on the second one.
And for some reason, I'd been shifted to wing then in like this part, so I still thought there was an oak outside me, and I threw the ball and it hit first row. It might have been the second row, like just seat. And I remember thinking, oh, well, it's possible. It's possible somebody could do that, but you know, but so my passing was maybe not the best, but I think in terms of like when I was playing league, there's obviously 13 players on the park, so there is a bit more space, but because the action's happening quite tight and you're playing on edges, that it's always either 1-on-1 or if there's a moment where it's 2-on-1, it's like it's you just going in, you know exactly what to do, you know. But with Union, then there's loads of space, but we are edge to edge, so like you kick the ball that side, you know, first phase, can kick a cross kick, or on the third phase, you got like guys coming around for the third time, which I was like, well, this is like, it's a bit different, but coming from that like leagueness where, like I was saying, it's very tight in the middle, and if there is an opening, it's always on like the fifth or the sixth play, so you know where it's going. But with Union, it's a bit like anyone can do anything, and you have a bit of individual brilliance somewhere in between. But those types of things are like, I don't know, I'm going to carry on here, but like, it's very hard to. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I think the whole league thing, especially in Australia, where we're seeing, you know, a Mark Nwangani Tuwase, league, Union back to league, now Panny's coming back to Union, he's going to Japan. You know, you've got Suali'i and making that, and he was a league superstar, but interestingly, very kind of different sort of skill sets, and that's why they haven't been able to really sort of decide where he's going to play, because I think a lot of people, you know, in terms of understanding league, I mean, I always sort of look at league, it's very, very simplistic, but it's almost a bit like when you watch a touch rugby game in terms of there are no breakdowns, you know, you're not looking at things, so it is, as you said, a lot to do and then creating that space versus Union, which is, there are more players, but also there's more players involved at a single breakdown, so there can be more gaps. So I imagine, like, in terms of like your one-on-one tackling is so vital in league, because if you miss one, you know, that's in many ways, you know, you've got more room for error in terms in a Union potentially from a one-on-one tackling point of view. What was the biggest on the reverse when you went to league? What was something you had to learn very quickly?
Just to keep the ball. So that was like, because the whole time you're thinking, oh, should I put a grubber through, like, or should I like just try to play the ball, like, you know, because we have, like, you know, the scrums and everything's more contestable in Union than it is in league. So there's no line out in league, like it's like a tap and you play, like similar to touch rugby, or the scrums aren't really contestable because the guys aren't pushing, they're just like hooking the ball and it's out in play, because D is so important. But so those small little like I suppose nuances are where the difference is.
I mean, I was watching Andy Farrell, who's obviously got the league background, and he was basically saying like the greatest sin in league is to not use your 6 phases or whatever. He said, you know, to lose the ball, as he said, to lose the ball in 3 and 4. He says you know your big thing is you need to use all 6. And if you don't, that's like the big thing. Whereas in rugby, I mean, the box especially on first phase, boom, we'll bop and under 50-50. You know, on literally second phase, Marnie will try, you'll chip over the top or you'll throw whatever. You know, there's no sort of sense of we need to go through X amount of phases and then we'll try something.
Exactly.
You'll have potentially a contestable from the first phase, or you might not even kick contestable after 20 phases.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting, different thing. But I think moving out something in the box, like I look at Jasper Visa, and that move to the Prem defined him really. I think Mars van der Merwe as well. So I think what we're getting at here is, for the young players, don't be afraid. Go overseas, go take that opportunity.
Yeah.
Even go into the different unions, go and take that chance. It might not always work out, and some it really hasn't.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of value, even if you end up going exactly back to where you were. I think a lot of players do grow when they make that move.